Well, now we're going to apply some multiplication properties. And this can become, and specifically, we're going to be looking at the commutative and associative properties in these couple of examples that we're going to take a look at. And this can be valuable to us, particularly if we're working without the aid of a computer. So we're asked to evaluate each expression using the properties of numbers and then name the property used in each step. So we've got 2.9 times 4 times 10. Now we could rearrange this to make this just a little bit easier on us. And let's see, well, why don't we take 2.9 times 10 times 4. So we've done a little bit of rearranging, and the property that we use there is the commutative property, which states really as long as we're just staying within multiplication, it doesn't really matter the order in which we do it. Now, to make this even a little bit more simple, I could take 2.9 times 10, group it together, times 4. And why might I, and by the way, that's the associative property, because we can group things within certain orders to make things into certain groupings to make things easier. And the reason why I would want to do that is I got 2 and 9/10 times 10. Well, 2 and 9/10 times 10 just means I'm just going to move that decimal to the right. And so 2.9 times 10 is equal to 29, and we still got times 4. And that 2.9 times 10 equals 29. That's the substitution property. And then finally, when we multiply 29 times 4, let's see, 9 times 4 is 36. 6, carry your 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 3, 11 is going to be 116. So let's see, this was the commutative property. And this was the associative property. And this was substitution. And this was substitution. All right, well, that's not too bad. Shall we do one more? Let me ask you a question. Do I really care if you want to do one more? No, I don't care, because we're going to do one more, whether you care or not. All right, so this time we've got 5 over 3. Hold just a second. Hello. Yes. You're a scam. Bye. Okay, somebody trying to tell me they're calling from Windows. That's a lie. Okay. Let's see. 5 thirds, 5 over 3 times 25 times 3 times 2. Well, let's rearrange this using the commutative property. So I got 5 thirds times 3 times 25 times 2. And then let's group these together. And when we do, we're going to be using the associative property. 5 thirds times 3. And that's going to be times 25 times 2. All right, so let's see. This was the commutative property. And this was the associative property. All right, let's do a little substitution. Now, why did I group the 5 thirds with the 3, which is the same as 3 over 1? Well, that would be because I could cancel these 3's pretty easily. And now that's just going to equal 5. And let's see, 25 times 2, I grouped those together because that's pretty easy to figure in my head. 2 times 25 is 50. This is substitution property. And 5 times 250, well, let's see, 5 times 5 is 25. We've got to add a 0. That's 250, and that also is the substitution property. All right, well, we've used some multiplication properties. Shazam.